What's up, Tesla family? It's Ray J back with another video. And in this one, I want to break down what's happening with Tesla SPY in the overall market. I want to talk about some big news that's coming out for next week as we have new developments and big earnings, not to mention something very, very big on the chart. But just know that I am not a financial planner, so make sure you take nothing I say as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please check out my Moomoo link. If you deposit $100, you're guaranteed 5 free stocks. You deposit $1,000, you're guaranteed 15 in total, not to mention an 8.1% APY on invested cash. The offer ends very soon in just about 2 weeks. Anyways, now let's talk about the market. So the market pumped so much over the last couple of weeks, and it was due for a bit of a pullback. Tesla also pulled back during the pre-market only to get bought back up as we got lots of bullish news. So let's talk about what happened. Why did the market sell off even more and what's happening with next week? Well, as you guys know, Jerome Powell, the big guy, was giving his speech yesterday. I was breaking down why that was very, very important. And unfortunately, he caused a big rug pull because he said that the Fed is not in a hurry to cut rates. He became very, very stringent with the way he was saying things. And he kept talking about how the Fed has to look at the data and be very, very cautious because of the fact that we got a slight increase in inflation looking at the PPI and CPI data reports. Now, I went over all of this in a lot more detail in my previous video, my video from yesterday. So if you want more details, you guys can check that out. But that's part of why the market dipped. We got a continuation from what we saw yesterday. So thank you so much, Jerome Powell. However, I anticipate there's a good chance the market will attempt to rebound early next week, and then we'll see what happens after that, depending on different factors. But let's first talk about some news and data, then I'll break down these charts. So as you guys could tell, the market is in the red. We saw Nvidia, Apple, Google, Microsoft, the majority of stocks sell off. We saw finance a little bit more in the green, kind of flat. Then we saw other stocks like Tesla in the green, whereas the rest of the stocks for the most part were more red besides utilities. So almost everything was red except for finance and utilities and Tesla, and the majority of stocks were in the red. So that's how we ended up moving today as we saw the S&P 500 and NASDAQ sell off. Now, Tesla managed to outperform the market because we got some bullish news. My price target was almost correct yesterday. I was talking about how Tesla's going to likely dip closer to about 297 to 300. That's exactly what I said. That's where our 50 EMA happened to be. And I said that we should be looking for a bounce once we hit that. What happened was Tesla dumped to $302 a share in the morning. So we hit 302, and then all this bullish news came out, and Tesla made a nice bounce. So it was very interesting to witness that. What was the bullish news? Just to be very frank, there was two main things. The first thing is Tesla has the new charging cabinet that has been released for faster charging for the Cybertruck and the other models, not to mention faster times for them to install it. So very, very bullish news, at least from that end. That was very, very great when that came out. I went over this in all my morning videos. And then the other piece of news was the new price target that Ron Barron talked about. He said that he sees Tesla going to about $1,600 a share within the next 10 years, if not sooner. He also mentioned that Elon Musk has even more bullish targets, seeing Tesla in the tens of trillions in terms of its market cap. He believes Tesla is going to be going to at least $5 trillion in market cap or $1,600 a share in the next 10 years or sooner. That's very, very bullish news, and that could even be a more conservative estimate as it depends on the release of the robotaxi. But he talked about how he's a very, very big believer in what Tesla is going to develop. He was known for investing in Tesla in the beginning, calling it out and saying that this is going to be doing very, very well with scaling up EVs when many people ridiculed Tesla and him. And he ended up proving himself right as years went by. So he's very legendary for that. He's very well known. You guys could look him up. And then when it comes to the other things that he has done, he's now still very bullish on Tesla. So we'll see if his next prediction is correct. I personally believe that he could be underestimating how much Tesla will run. But once again, it depends on the robotaxi. But like I said before, very, very bullish news. So what's happening for next week and then what's going to happen to Tesla? We'll talk about that. For next week, just know that for Monday, we have Trip.com announcing earnings. Then for Tuesday, we have more retail such as Walmart, Lowe's, Xbong, and a few others. For Wednesday, we have Neo, Target, TJ Maxx, and Wix all announcing earnings. And then after market close, we have the notorious Nvidia. Nvidia is going to be very big for Tesla and the broader market, so get ready for that on Wednesday. Besides that, everything else is going to be very, very minor, such as Intuit, not to mention more retail like Ross. But that's it for earnings. The majority of earnings are going to be more minor, except for Nvidia, which is going to be the biggest one for the week. For data, it's all very, very minor. Monday is just going to have some housing data and bill auctions, very minor data. Tuesday just has more housing data, very minor. Wednesday is very minor. Thursday has some jobs numbers, especially from the Philly Fed, not to mention initial jobless claims, which is more significant, and Fed speakers. And finally, I'm sorry, that's for Thursday. And for Friday, we have the S&P Global Composite PMI that's coming out. So more important data. So the data is very quiet until Thursday and Friday. So just keep that in mind. Anyways, that's it for our data. I'm just going to make that part very short. What do I see for next week now for the markets? Tesla got a nice green bar, and after all this bullish news, it is attempting to rebound. We have this imbalance up here that could be attracting Tesla higher, especially as the market tries to rebound. But this depends on how well we could hold above the 4-hour 20 EMA. If we hold above 319, I think Tesla pushes back up to about 230, 228 to 230. If we lose this, we could be dipping back down to about 312.75, depending on our data and news. But from a technical standpoint, this is more bullish with two big green bars on the 4-hour, not to mention a big improvement in volume, which could lead to Tesla pushing back up for about the 230 target. So I anticipate a little bit more upside next week as long as we hold above 319 just to start off the week. And then we'll see what happens after that depending on the news. As far as SPY goes, let me just call out that SPY is holding its key support. We held 585 very nicely, the exact level we called out. I said in my morning video, if 589.7 fails us, we're looking for 585 as our target. That's exactly what ended up happening. With that being said, that is very, very important. So I think that the way this is going to move is like this. We're going to be expecting a small rebound is the most likely possibility as long as we don't lose 585. We did dip below it, but then we got bought back up and closed above us. So that's a good sign. So look for an attempt to get back up to about 589 to about the 590 area. So look for a little bit of an upside and we'll see if we get a rejection or not. But look for a small push to start off the week to about 589 to 590. And then we'll see what happens after that for SPY. For ES, we held our 200 EMA at 58.67. As long as we're above that, I'm looking for 59.25 as our target next to this imbalance. If we lose that, we do turn more bearish, but I think we favor 5,900 to 59.25 as our target. So a little bit more upside. Then we'll see how things end up going. For Nvidia, we're going to try to rebound. We're going to be looking for a test of 144 to 145. I think we're going to, I think we're going to try to push with earnings coming out next week. So look for some upside in Nvidia. Then we'll have to see how things end up going. For Bitcoin, we're on a bit of an uptrend right here. We'll have to see if 88,772 holds. We could be pushing hard towards that 92,800 area, and we'll see what happens after that. But I anticipate a little bit more upside for Bitcoin. Look for this to be testing the highs at 92,500 or above. Once again, Tesla's going to try to rebound with Bitcoin, so we're going to be looking for that 328 to 330 area. For NQ, let's see if we try to reclaim our 200 EMA. It's 20,524. If we do that, we could be looking for 20,600 plus. If we end up losing 20,425, we're looking for a dip back down towards 20,275. So I'm going to be looking for a little bit more upside for 20,600, and we'll see how things end up going. For the QQQ, we got this little dip right over here. We held above 495 very, very nicely. So this could attempt to push back up. As long as we don't lose 495, I think the odds are favoring a 500 test. So look for a push for 500. We'll have to see how things end up going. I think we rebound just a little bit next week, and then we'll see if we get a rejection or not, depending on Nvidia's earnings and other factors like that. Apple should retest 226 going into next week, and we'll see if it rejects or not. If we break that, we're going to be looking for the gap look for 227.5. So look for a little bit more upside, and we'll see what happens. Palantir is more bullish as more buyers are stepping in. We're looking for 67.5 as our target. The share price remains very bullish. I was worried it could dip, but I said to watch our 20 EMA to see if this breaks or not. If we held this, I said to watch for a bounce, and if we lost this, I would turn more bearish. We held support, so now we're looking for 67.5 as we had some bullish news. The IWM could be dipping a little bit more. We'll have to see. It either bounces off 228 to go back up to 230, or it dips a little bit lower to about 226 and then it bounces. So 226 to 228 could be tested. We'll see if we bounce. Coin is going to try to push up higher right over here. We're essentially looking for 310 and eventually the 320 targets. If we lose 289, we turn back down, but this is favoring 310 plus and eventually 320. Amazon could be trying to push for 204, and we'll see what happens after this. So watch to see if we get a break here. I do anticipate a little bit more upside. Meta, it's a little bit more complicated with Meta. It's trying to hold 550. We'll have to see if that holds. We had some bad news that came out. We had a very, very big management fund that reduced its stake in the company by about 310,000 shares, which is what caused this downside move. We'll see if Meta bounces here. I think it might dip a little bit more before it gets that bounce, so it could get closer to like 550 before that happens. Microsoft could also, it's trying to base. You'll have to see if 415 holds. If it does, we're going to be looking for a retest of 418-ish. And then we'll see if 418 to 420 holds. So look for a push for 418 to 420 is the most likely move before we see a rejection possibly. Google may also try to rebound for about 175.8, and we'll see if it rejects or not. With that being said, guys, I think the market is going to attempt to rebound a bit, at least the majority of tickers. There may be some exceptions, such as the IWM and Meta, but Tesla looks like it has some upside potential for next week, as long as we don't lose 319.5 or 20 EMA. We'll see what happens with the news, guys, but that's it for my update for the time being. I'm going to make this video very short. Thank you all so much for listening, guys. I'll be back tomorrow to give you guys more updates and also on Sunday. Please enjoy the weekend. And don't forget, we have a very, very big day today. We have Jake Paul and Mike Tyson who are going to be facing off today. It's going to be on Netflix. So if you guys want to see the, what happens with the boxing match, it's up to you. But enjoy your weekend. Have fun, guys. Do what you have to do. And I'll see you guys very, very soon. I wish the best for everyone. Please enjoy what life has to offer. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. Thank you for listening. Tesla to the moon and peace out.